Before starting, we were, we have gone through this presentation. We were talking about training evaluation models. So first model was by Kirkpatrick, then by Jack J. Phillips of Phillips ROI model. Then it is CIPP model, COMA model, Zero model, Kaufman's 5 levels, and Binkerhoff's model. Before starting today's presentation, why training evaluation is necessary? Can anybody, give an idea or give an, logic behind the companies or organizations assessing training evaluation or the training effectiveness? Why they are evaluating? Why evaluation of a training process is done by any organization? Is it only to measure the effectiveness or what else? Anyone?
To calculate the return of the investment
As well as return on investment of what?
of their money on the trainees.
Okay. Overall, there is a newer concept in the business world, learning organization. What is a learning organization? What is a learning organization? What kind of organization is a learning organization?
The schools, colleges are learning organization.
Any organization that conducts business activity whereby the employees working within that organization have a scope to learn, have a scope to develop themselves, have a scope and organization that supports the development, holistic development of the subordinates of the employees within the organization is a learning organization. That kind of, attitude, or nowadays the organizations, coming back to our topic, my first question was why evaluation is conducted. First and foremost, obviously, I have mentioned in the earlier classes, the when the training is, the training is considered a cost if the output is negative, but the training is considered to a positive one if the outcome is, positive. So when the outcome is negative, we'll consider it as a cost. So if the outcome is positive, the organization is going to deem the cost as a investment. Moving on to the various models of training evaluation, first we'll come to Kirkpatrick's 4 levels. 4 levels of evaluation, also referred to as Kirkpatrick's evaluation model, was created by Donald Kirkpatrick, PhD, to define the 4 levels of training evaluation. The 4 levels of evaluation are: level 1, reaction, measures how participants react to training. Example, satisfaction. So when we are introducing any kind of training, the trainee has to have a positive frame of mind. But we have also learned in the adult learning theory of andragogy that adult learners or adult people who are adults, they have a different kind of learning style rather than the other general way of teaching. In the general way of teaching, the audience are children, the audience are students who may be forced upon to attend a particular subject or a class. But adult learners, without their own voluntary involvement or voluntary, uh, you know interest. We cannot force them to learn anything. When they are coming, or rather, when they are interested for a particular training program, we have to see that the interest levels are shown in the body language. We have to interpret what kind of or the training. Is it some kind of providing some level of satisfaction? It is going to throw we are going to assess it through the body language of our trainees. Next is learning. It analyzes if they truly understood the training. Example, increase in knowledge, skills and experience. So whatever the trainees are learning, it is again going to be transferred on the job. Then only we can assess whatever the trainees have learned is put to good use. Next is behavior. If they are utilizing what they learned at the work, so transfer of training as well as in behavior, we can write one more point. It is going to produce a positive frame of mind for people who are already trained when compared to people or untrained people. Why? Because when I am trained, when I am knowledgeable about something, then I'm obviously going to display it by showing my enthusiasm, zeal, as well as, I'm not going to be stressed when I'm put in a situation. Next is results. It determines if the material or the training program had a positive impact on the business or the organization. So eventually we are going to measure it via productivity. Next, the four levels. I feel this slide is not visible. So, is this slide visible to all now?
Yes, sir.
Can anybody
Yes, it is
explain?
visible.
Can anybody explain me why this is in an inverted triangle? Why is it in an inverted triangle? Go through this slide. Kindly, come up with answers why this particular slide is in an inverted triangle. Or why the model is represented in the inverted triangle. So reaction phase, measure your participants' initial reaction to gain an understanding of the training program and valuable insights into the material quality, educator or the trainer, and etc. Learning, measure how much information was effectively absorbed during the training and map it to program and or individual learning objectives. Or we are going to find out whatever kind of learning is done or it has been gained by the trainees. Behavior, measure how much of your training has influenced the behavior of the participants and evaluate how they apply this information on the job. Measure results. Sorry. When we're coming to results, measure and analyze the impact your training has had at the business level, and to be sure to tie it to the individual or the program. Why this particular model is in a inverted triangle, or why this model is shown in an inverted triangle model? Kindly think about it. Anyone can start. Tell me what is the answer. Anyone? Kindly use some logic why it is so.
Sir,
Kindly.
sir, if people will be interested to get the training, well, then their learning will be more, and with this the behavioral impact will bring to the result, a better result.
How many phases are shown over here?
Four, sir.
Do we all agree there are 4 phases? Yes?
Yes, sir.
All of us agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So if all of us agree, then kindly think of these four phases in terms of the number of applicants who have gone through this phase. So what is this process? It represents a what?
Training procedure, training evaluation. The first means a more number of participants are there, so the reaction is
Excellent. Very good. Explain this. The number of participants reduces when we go to the results. Why it happens?
uh, it is because few trainees try to successfully apply what they have learned.
Few trainees. Okay, you are correct, but let me just more, put it in a better manner. In the reaction phase, we are targeting a large group of people. Fine. Where it eventually reduces because see, most of us, or rather, all of us, are unique in nature. Our learning styles differ. Our interpretation also differs. The amount of learning which I can understand will differ from XYZ persons. So I may not be able to understand what is being taught. So for that, if I am losing out, initially my reaction is positive. Some of the people out of this, say in reaction phase, there are 100 trainees. The effective learning phase, it will see the effect, the number of trainees fall to, say, for example, 90 trainees in this phase, learning phase. When we are going to transfer the training, it is further going to reduce. Why? Because whatever I have learned in the training program, if it is not translated on the job, then again I am going to be unconfident person who has undergone training. I may not say, for example, again I'll be hesitant to give in some kind of a response. See, if it is shown in the behavior phase, it may not necessarily translate to our results. Am I clear? Everybody is clear, or should I explain this again?
Yes, sir.
All of us are, all of us have understood this. It is similar to the
Yes, sir.
need hierarchy triangle, where the triangle, the physiological phase, everybody needs to have roti, kapda, and makan. Then comes the next safety needs. We need to have a place where we feel secure. So eventually, when we are talking about the shape, uh, imagine the shape. As we go higher, the number of people attaining a certain level of, uh, you know, Maslow's triangle states, as we go higher, the number dwindles. It is the same thing. As we go higher in the stage of, attaining the results with the paramount, requirement of the organization. As we are going further into the training, the number of trainees who have actually transferred their training and produce a positive result reduces. Kirkpatrick's model. The model primarily measures training effectiveness and impact based on stakeholders' expectation. Kirkpatrick termed this metric or the factor or the measuring basis as return on expectation. ROE versus ROI, when compared with return on investment, which is more finance based, return on expectations offers a more comprehensive view, one that looks into the whole story or the holistic aspect. ROI defines training as an end in itself and focuses on a number that is in terms of 10% increase in productivity, or in the annual revenue, or 5% increase in the market share. So that is definitive in nature, while ROI defines training as a contributor to the key business results and looks at the bigger picture. So, in this, when we are talking about return on expectation, and I earlier mentioned about a learning organization, so what is the major leveraging factor for such organizations who are providing holistic, training to their employees? What is the leveraging factor? Or what factor is used as a leverage to produce positive business results and create good, employees? Have you guys understood my question?
No, sir.
Which factor is responsible, or rather, while we are, concentrating on ROE, a learning organization leverages or bases its, performance on development of its employees. So, what does the organization ultimately aim to do? Increase the level of competency of all the employees who are working in the organization. So once the level of competencies of my organization vis-a-vis my competition is extremely high, then I am going to be a market leader. No?
And authenticity is the factor.
Kindly listen carefully to what I said. If the core competency level of my employee is increasing or is high as compared to my competition, I'm going to be a market leader. Yes? Yes or no?
So, yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because when
Productivity will be high.
productivity will be high as well as morale.
Model.
The
Yes.
morale is high, then the day-to-day working, the loyalty, the interpersonal skills, each and every such kind of factors are already in place. They are operating at the optimum level. Next, before going into that model, let me just go to the okay. Is this Word file visible to all? Is this
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Donald, so what is the Kirkpatrick's? Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of training evaluation. In a bid to find an effective way of training program, Donald Kirkpatrick came up with a system that is now called the Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of training evaluation. This system became very popular. He published in his book called the Evaluation of Training Programs. Kirkpatrick's model of training evaluation focuses on the effectiveness of training at 4 different levels. Reaction level. This is the first stage of evaluation. The level mostly focuses on the reaction of trainees to the overall training process that is provided. While this first level tells you nothing about whether or not a course actually fulfilled its objective, the course here refers to the training program. It does reveal how much learning was received by whom, the trainees, and how you could improve the user experience. So when we are implementing any kind of a thing, kindly, please, see this. the first level or the reaction level in this Kirkpatrick's evaluation of training states that yes, we feel that the training is being provided, but in that particular training process, we cannot assess about the results or what positivity or increased productivity of the employees is going to be, but it is able to reveal if the total training process is providing some level of satisfaction to the learners. Next is, this also enables you to make improvements or adjustments or any kind of lacuna is there within the training processes, we can modify it. So the program itself is going to be made flexible. Next is, level 1 reaction is best achieved by implementing a post-training questionnaire. So this is one crucial way to find out or get feedback if the training experience has been a positive one. Asking participants to provide feedback on how they perceive, so on and so forth. Next is, examples are given. Learning. Unlike the first level, which focuses on the trainees' reactions, level 2 focuses on something else entirely, learning. The more specifically, this level focuses on measuring what your trainees have learned during the training process and what will they be able to do differently as a result. So if there is any scope of innovation, creativity, which is going to be translated on the job, what will they be able to do differently as a result, and their confidence uh, level in making those changes. So how confident an individual is when assigned to a difficult task, and how differently in the sense that how, if there is a person post training, if the person can come up with out of the box thinking and develop the inner potential. In addition, this level helps in demonstrating how the training has helped participants develop their skills, knowledge on the subject matter, or if there is an increase in knowledge, if there is clarity rather than ambiguity about a particular knowledge. Say, for example, HR people are given training about IR. So most of the HR people, the freshers, they won't be able to understand what is the legal side or the laws which have been stated. So post training, they may be able to enhance their skills as well as be more confident in tackling certain situations if they occur when they are doing their job. How to measure the learning impact? In order to measure the learning impact on training, you need to first identify what you want to evaluate. Therefore, it is important for the training session to have specific learning objectives. So what this paragraph means is, when we are going to implement the training, we are going to further segregate the training into different topics or objectives. I say, for example, about the HR freshers learning about IR issues or the legal aspects of IR issues. Then what will happen is, we are going to have different objectives of different laws. When we are going to put different learning objectives, obviously we are going to assess if the learning or the trainee has learned some kind of a thing. Why? Each phase of training, we can ask questions as a trainer. I can look at the body language as a trainer. I can pose questions like I do in my normal way of teaching. I can ask certain questions. I can get to know. I get a feel that if the training or the learning thing is going on smoothly. So that should be your starting point. Next, determine how to measure the learning effectiveness of the training program. There are several ways to measure training effect or the learning effectiveness. It is best to measure the understanding of your trainees via questionnaire, interview, verbal assessment. Verbal assessment is when I pose a question and the students are going to give a answer. Next is, the goal is to ask questions about the topic to determine the level of understanding of your trainees. Take note of the answers you get. are the trainees answering more questions correctly, and after the training session, if the answer is yes, then the learning has been achieved. If not, your learning material is not doing its job, and we can or training learning material, we can also call it as what? In the earlier presentation or in the earlier module, we call it as what? What is the material called as according to what we all learned in the earlier module?
The training aid.
Very good, training aid. You need to go back to the drawing board and again reassess how better we can do it. Level 3 of Kirkpatrick is the behavior. Third part of Kirkpatrick's evaluation model deals with the behavior of the trainees after the training session. Basically, this level will help you understand how well your trainees are applying their training. Conversely, or in reverse, this level can also reveal if people need help in implementing what they have learned. However, it is important to note that the behavior can only change if conditions are favorable. What kind of conditions are favorable? Meaning what? What kind of conditions is we are talking about? No one?
Interactive training program. Good morning, sir. I think interactive training program should be condition for the favorable for a training program.
As well as good morning, as well as say for example, you are a trainer. If a trainer itself is robotic in manner and doesn't answer the trainees' queries, is the learning going to be effective? No. The atmosphere where the training program is being conducted, that also has to be conducive. Second of all, the materials which I'm providing to the trainees to get a better understanding about a particular concept, that has to be again up to date, clear. Next is that leaves us with few scenarios. What is those scenarios? Trainees understand and implement what they learn. Trainees understand what they have learned but are unable to implement because the company structure is not flexible. What do we understand by company structure is not flexible? Think about what happens in a bank. Think about a normal,
Sir, there is a rotation of job. That's
yes.
why that person could not implement properly whatever
So
he or
if
she
they,
has learned.
sir, if there is no rotation of job, whatever I have learned is not implementable. Am I clear? That is what he is trying to say. Yes.
Yes, sir. That is also yes.
Trainees do not understand what they have learned, therefore unable to implement. So there is no basic, understanding of what the training was about, the objectives of the training, so on and so forth. Each of these scenarios will play out differently. The beauty of Karpathy's model of evaluation is the ability to identify these scenarios and solve the resulting consequences. For example, your company organized a compliance course for your employees about the correct procedure of doing certain tasks. Say, for example, uh, a manufacturing unit is performing a training about the safety aspect and what compliances the employees need to follow. That training is being provided. If the next day they continue doing things exactly how they used to. So basically, if a company is providing training and it is not implemented, the problem is not lack of knowledge, but is lack of application. By who? The people who have undergone the process of training. Here, there is one more issue, is the attitudinal issue, or the people undergoing certain level of people, certain people, we cannot change them. They are very rigid in their attitude. So once they're those kind of people, it is very difficult for them, for the companies to manage such kind of people. So eventually, those people, they will always be a hindrance in applying a particular learning or a training program post training. Next is, in essence or in summary, core practice level 3 simply means asking participants if they are using what they learned, or if it is the learning what they have undergone, is it being transferred to on the job practice. And to get a full picture, you may utilize a 360-degree feedback loop. That means you need to ask the trainees themselves and their colleagues, their superiors, so on and so forth. We know what is a 360-degree feedback. Even the juniors are going to report about me if I'm doing the job or not post training. The core practice level 4 results. The final level of core practice evaluation model looks at the impact of training has had on the company. That is, again, we are going to see if the revenue, the productivity levels is being translated in numbers for the company. The corporate training constantly has ROI top of the mind and tied it to has tied it to every aspect of the training. One key metric or factor to look out for is whether or not the training positively affected the organization. So, does the organization post the holistic training provided to its employees is having that much, has it recovered the cost invested in training and posted a profit? So, that is what the organization is going to wait for or expects basically. Most for this to be a straightforward discovery, the goal should be prior to or set prior to the development in the training. Otherwise, it is sure you will not know what exact results you are hoping for to see after the training program. So we are going to, as an organization, we are going to have, or in the training program itself, we have set the objectives, and we are going to, as a management, we are going to again set, focus on what that particular training, how it is going to provide, what kind of positivity in terms of revenue for our company. That again has to be totally clarified or totally understood by the management when they are implementing a particular training program. Listed below are some of the training outcomes based on the goals and objectives. Increased employee retention, so turnover rate reduces, higher production rate, higher morale, fewer wastage, higher sales or revenue increases, higher sales with better attitude. We can say if there is a high morale, employees will be better at managing their clients. Also, increased quality ratings, again, high morale, better behavior, higher sales. Quality also increases when we are talking about service sector. In manufacturing, production unit has to take care that the training or the materials which is used, there is fewer wastage, so on and so forth. Quality ratings also improve. Increased customer satisfaction, lower staff complaints or interpersonal skills. Training will increase coordination, and where our day-to-day operations will be managed in a better way. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Philips
sir, yes.
ROI model. One of the most frequently quoted aspects of Philips model is the addition of fifth level of
The
evaluation.
PPT is not visible. The Word file
That's
is
the
visible.
previous PPT.
Is this screen not changing?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Visible?
Yes, sir. Now it is.
Phillips ROI model. One of the most frequently quoted aspects of Phillips model is the addition of fifth level of evaluation to Kirkpatrick's learning evaluation model, which is the ROI model. Phillips model states that after determining a learning program's business impact at the level 4, business impact is what? What was the 4 levels of, what is the 4th level?
Result.
Result.
What is level 1?
Yes, sir.
Reaction.
Reaction.
Immediate reaction.
Behaviors,
Learning, behavior, and
behavior, learning and reaction.
Okay. Phillips model states that after determining learning programs business impact at Kirkpatrick's level 4, we can translate that impact into monetary terms and compare it to the total cost of the program to calculate return on investment. These costs include program development and delivery plus labor cost of time for learners to complete the training. So we are also going to add the cost to hire experts from outside. If the training is provided by a expert from outside, there are certain companies who hire experts from outside who cost a lot. So those costs are to be implemented over here or added. Next is to calculate the ultimate ROI. Going by all these things, again, this is a normal triangle. Why is this shape in a triangle? On top of the triangle, there is return on investment, results is there, impact, learning, satisfaction. So why it is in a triangle?
Sir, aspects of each stage is gradually becoming narrow towards the top position.
Yes, and
It is what organization wants from the training.
why
Okay.
ROI is the least over here if the results are positive?
It is the paramount phase of the triangle, and it is only the outcome, that is in terms of revenue increase and profitability.
Anything else, sir? My question was, what you're telling me is on the aspect of what we are gaining in terms of money. But why ROI is the least or the smallest triangle over here? Why? Logic, why? If the
Sir,
result, in the result phase, if there is a lot of people who are working towards it, why ROI is again not up to mark?
Because the behavior of people is as rigid.
Behavior. That should have been there when we are talking about impact.
Yes, sir.
so ROI, we are using ROI to calculate whether the investment gave us a positive impact or it gave us a negative impact.
That is the logical way, or that is the most logical thing. But my question is different. And investment, when you're talking about in terms of HR, investment on training, kindly when you are going to write to answer, please write that investment made on training. Or, if you don't write the word training, it has a different meaning. Anybody else who can tell me why ROI is the least or the smallest triangle over here?
Sir, this is a long-term effect.
Yes, it is the long-term effect. Anything else?
Immediately, that is not shown by the organization.
If I am providing a training to an individual, most of the training programs are for the short term. Long-term training is again provided on a, to create a learning organization, to increase core competencies, but training, specific training, when we are talking about, is addressed if I'm providing a particular skill, technical skill training. Madam, you are provided with the training of Python to be implemented on your job immediately to do a data analysis and provide that information as a basis for the higher management to take decision. Is it immediate or a long-term thing?
Immediate.
Acha, before I proceed further, all of you have received these slides.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I have sent it in the, I have sent it to madam. She has not forwarded.
No, sir.
We
No,
have
sir.
received only unit 1, madam, sir.
Okay, one of your friends, I have sent him the email also. He has not sent.
I'll send it in the group. I think these people are not in the group. Like if they can ping me in my number, I can send them. I can forward them.
Kindly share your telephone number in the chat box so that everybody can take it down and
Yes, sir. It will be
you can
better.
send all the PPTs and relevant material to your friends. Do it now so that none of them will complain.
It's done already.
Okay, good. Okay. Anybody else, as we go higher, one of your senior friends, he has stated that yes, the scope reduces. That is an excellent answer. But why ROI also reduces? ROI should increase. Yes or no?
Yes,
Take
sir.
this screenshot. Tomorrow we'll discuss why. And today also I'm going to provide you with this. This I haven't sent to your friend, I guess. Shakti, have I sent this Word file to you? No? No, I haven't sent this one. So once I send this, you can get a clear picture.
No, sir, this was not sent.
I'll send it today itself.
Yeah.
So take this as a question for tomorrow.
Sir, I have also shared my email ID. So if you can wish, sir, you can share so that I can also share in my group.
Fine. I'll be sending. I've seen your
Including, sir, including the previous materials also that we have not received.
I will send everything, sir, to you and one more.
Thank you. That will be better because then we will be able to share it in different groups or WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Next, moving on.
Sir, one query from my side. In our exam purpose, if we actually not yet received the material from the university that we have already told you, if we go through your slides and materials, whether that will be sufficient for our exam purpose?
More than sufficient. Plus, I have given some extra material, and I will be providing something extra today itself. Once I go to the office, I'll be providing something extra related to the things which I haven't covered or I may not be able to cover by tomorrow because tomorrow is the last class. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
I will be providing material regarding your trading policy. Training calendar is just the normal thing. Again, I'll be providing material which I haven't covered. For those portions also, I will providing you all with material. Am I clear?
Sir,
So-
if you have any doubt, then how we can solve it, sir?
You can ask, me. This is my number.
Sir, important question.
Sir,
Question
sir, can you
important.
please just
Oh.
number, sir? Yes, sir, got it, sir.
Important question is your first and foremost. I'll be completing my work first. That is again taking the class. Important question is after tomorrow, after 9 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. Next, coming to CIPP model. CIPP evaluation model is a program evaluation model which was developed by Daniel Stufflebeam and his colleagues in 1960. CIPP is an acronym for Context, Input, Process, and Product. Context, Input, Process, and Product. Why a training is required? What kind of training is provided? That is input. What methodology? On the job, off the job. What is the product? CIPP is an evaluation model that requires evaluation of context, input, process, and product in judging a program's value. CIPP model, CIPP is decision-focused approach to evaluation, emphasizes systematic provision for information for program management and operation. It provides systematic provision for information of program management and operation, meaning what? Context, product, context, input, product, dot, process, and product. Let us just delve into it a bit more. Four aspects of CIPP model are context, input, process, and product. These four aspects of CIPP evaluation assist a decision maker to answer four basic questions. Is this slide visible?
Yes, sir.
In terms of context, what should we do? This involves collection and analyzing need assessment data to determine goals, priorities, and objectives. Priorities, need assessment. Most of you have understood why we are going to train a particular group of trainees. Priorities is which particular group of employees need to be trained first so that it translates into a smoother functioning of day-to-day operations. Objectives, why do we need the training? Next is input, how should we do it? It involves the steps and resources needed to meet the new goals and objectives, and might include identifying successful external programs and materials as well as gathering information. External program, why identifying external program? Or what is external program? What is external program?
Conference.
Kindly read the line again.
Sir, case studies, other successful applications of
Even conference, even case study. Case study is not an external program, but rather than an internal program. When we are hiring trainers from outside, there is an external way of helping employees learn something new about how they're going to perform the job better. Next is process. Are we doing it as planned? Are we doing it as planned?
Yes, sir.
So that is a question. Before answering yes, that is the question which the trainer has to, or the management has to think about. Are we doing it as per the plan stated in the training program or training module or the training phases? So this provides decision makers with the information about how well the program is being implemented. By continuously monitoring the program, decision makers learn such things as how well it is following the plans and guidelines, conflicts that may arise, staff support morale, strength and weaknesses of material, delivery, and budget problems. So the basic thing is, are we doing it as a plan? Is when we are implementing the training program, we have to see to it that everything runs smoothly. When we are doing this, when we are monitoring it, we are also seeing to it that the effectiveness of each and every phase or each and every entity who is involved in the implementation process of the training is well prepared, well polished, and operates in a synchronous way. Next is product. Did the program or did the program work? Me work नहीं, the MME होगा वो थोड़ा सा assessment. There's a space between that. So did the program work by measuring the actual outcomes and comparing them to the anticipated outcomes as per the company anticipated outcomes as set by the company. The decision makers are better able to decide if the program should be continued, modified, or dropped altogether. Say, for example, if the productivity, if the effectiveness of the program doesn't yield any kind of expectation of the organization, it is going to be dropped altogether. And in place of that, we are going to again go back to phase one, think about what program is best suited to train our employees, and again go through the full process of coming up with a better training program. So this is the essence of product evaluation. Today we are going to stop now so that I can send you the material. Is there any doubt today? Or I'll be sending the material today. Come up with your questions tomorrow and post your session for tomorrow when I finish whatever we are going to finish in the last class. Your questions kindly collected from madam at least for 2 years, and anything else related to any other question I'll be sending. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Any
Thank you.
questions? Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Wait. I have to take down your email ID. It is there.
So I have the mail ID. You can forward them to me. I can forward.
I have forwarded. You forward them. Let me forward.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
I have forwarded the RAR file. You unzip it and individually send.
I have done it already, sir.
Send them individually then. I'll do it on my own. Clear? Let me also send them so that nobody will complain कि sir ने भेजा नहीं.
Okay.
And
Sir, Mr. Sokti has sent me that materials. Already sent me just.
kindly send it in your group.
Sure, sir.
MS 72516. Who is MS 72516? Madhusmita. Have you got the material? Have you got the material, madam? Okay, she is not there.
So Sakti is already sent in the group.
So why should I send it again? Your friend has already sent it in the group. Why should I send it again? Mr. Prabir Kumar Sahu, have you received the material? Is he there?
Sir, there is not now need to send everyone. Mr. Sokti will send us. Actually, initially he was under impression that many of us are in the group of HR specialized group. So that impression, due to that impression, there he could send in the common group. So now he has sent, and I think in future he will send all these things. So, sir, you need not to send everyone, sir.
Okay. For all your impression, depression, and frustration, I apologize and thank you very much.
Thank you. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.